love, Shady Grove, my old Shady Grove, my love, I'm going home.
Rufus Hitchcock knew what people needed and what he wanted to do. After traveling by land and arriving at Sutter's Fort in 1848, in today's Sacramento, he partnered with John Sutter and opened a boarding house at the fort. He, his wife Nancy, and small family ran this, possibly the first boarding house in Northern California, until they moved to El Dorado County in 1849. After arriving at what was then known as White Oak Township, they purchased the newly built Green Springs Roadhouse on Coloma Road, now known as Green Valley Road and Rescue. In 1850, Rufus Hitchcock built the Pleasant Grove House along the same stretch of road a mile east. It is believed that the wood for this new roadhouse came from the east and was shipped around the Horn of South America. On April 8, 1851, the dreaded smallpox virus hit the White Oak Township. Mr. Hitchcock was struck down and shortly after was laid to rest. Nancy Hitchcock continued to run the Green Springs house until the pox returned once again to ravage the area, infecting 17 people. Mrs. Hitchcock and 2 nieces didn't survive. The Green Springs house was sold at auction, and the Pleasant Grove house had new owners. Enlarged in stages over the years, this 320-acre ranch in 1853 consisted of a 20-foot by 60-foot, 2-story building with 7 bedrooms, kitchen, dining room, and bar. There was a blacksmith shop and 2 barns that could accommodate 100 horses. Above the barn's main section was an 1,160-foot dance floor. At this time, the owner was Timothy Grace, a butcher from Virginia. After selling the ranch to G.A. and H. Wright, Mr. Grace continued to live on the property. By June 1859, the Pleasant Grove house saw ownership by the Sanders family, and a large accommodating ranch was about to take its place in history as a Pony Express station. In July of 1860, Pony Express riders used the Pleasant Grove house and ranch as a remount station to trade horses and a relay station to change riders. Their journey then continued on to either Sacramento or St. Joseph, Missouri, depending on which way they had come. The Pleasant Grove house was well equipped to shoe or house the horses and was contracted as needed. In September 1864, the new owners of the Pleasant Grove house were the William Wallace Russ Jr. family. As a 22-year-old adventurer, he had sailed from Massachusetts to San Francisco, a trip that took 219 days, to look for gold. Landing in San Francisco on April 29, 1850, he found a city overrun with other gold seekers. He returned to the lucrative business of shoeing horses. Setting up shop at Green Springs Ranch, he could make $4 a hoof for every horse he shod. William met and married a young Tennessean named Louisa Jane Pitts. The Pitts family had made a hazardous journey overland from Missouri. They arrived from the 8-month journey in early 1850. The original house, with all the additions to the structure, made it the perfect size for a growing family. They eventually had 13 children, though 3 of them died while young. They were buried in the family plot on the property. 4 of their children married and had children of their own. In later years, daughter Louise Rust Fleming and her husband John purchased the property from Mr. Rust. Mrs. William Rust died 2 days after Christmas in 1889, not long after the death of her son, Franklin Rust, age 17. William Rust lived in a small cabin by his daughter Julia's home and passed away in the summer of 1913.